I'm not a techie. I struggle with anything computer related. I get super overwhelmed whenever I try and do anything on my computer. To be honest with you guys, I'm getting really tired of hearing these excuses, and we're going to talk about it right after this. So the big question is this: how is a tiny percentage of entrepreneurs blow the pack away? What are they doing that we're not? I asked myself that question for 10 years. I was failing forward and getting sick of it. I wanted to build a coaching business, but couldn't make any headway. So I started studying them. I realized that the world's most elite marketers, entrepreneurs, and gurus were all using the same 4-step system. I call it the authority factor. On the show, I'm going to prove to you that the authority factor worked for them and it'll work for you. My name is Ken Dunn. Let's get started. Okay, I might lose some students today. I might lose some clients today, but it breaks my heart. I have to get into this topic, and I don't even want to get into this topic. So this is going to be very uncomfortable for both of us. But the reality is, nobody ever starts off like a computer expert. Nobody's ever born with the ability to build funnels and run ads and build an email list and all these things. We all learn these skills. And frankly speaking, if you're following me, if we're learning together on this platform, on this show, then you're somebody that wants to be a coach. You want to build an online business. You want to help other people. And the biggest challenge that somebody has that is saying these things to themselves is just that. It's self-talk. It's negative talk. And the older that I get, the more that I realize that there is something that I don't even understand about the way the brain works. But the brain definitely hooks our whole body together. As you guys all know, we get all of our emotions from our brain. We get all of our feelings and thoughts from our brain. And I want you to detach yourself just right now, however you have to do this. If you are somebody that is overwhelmed by the technology stuff and that's what's holding you back, I want you to detach yourself from the anxiety and the feelings that you're getting right now from hearing my voice and talking about this stuff. I want you to just sit back in your chair and maybe even close your eyes if you have to think about this. But I want you to think logically about the way our body works. So our brain is like the central, and I don't know, I'm not going to claim to even understand this myself, but here's my limited understanding, and this is what I'm trying to get across to you. Our brain is like the central computer for our whole body, for how everything works. There's some science of our anatomy that says that if I want to pick up a coffee and have a drink, I'm doing it because my body needs water, nourishment, and all that stuff. But the thought to do that starts with something in my body here that tells me I'm thirsty, that I need a drink. But it doesn't tell me here. It sends electrons and neurons and all these things up to the brain and in the brain. So it's here that I'm thirsty, or here, but it's my brain that says I'm thirsty. And it says, okay, hand, pick up that cup, bring it towards the lips. This is all learned behavior, but it's all being processed. Stick with me here. I know this is sounding way off topic and really weird, but there's a point I'm going to make here for you. It's telling me, okay, pick up that cup, move it towards your mouth, sip it. Remember, it's hot, so go slow and have a little sip. Our brain tells us to do that. So when it comes to learning a new thing, it's our brain that wants us to learn that new thing. It's our brain, it's where we do all of our thinking that says, I want to do this thing. So here's the example. Where does this all come from? You're at a point in your life where you've amassed some type of skill. You've got some type of ability that other people are asking you for help in. And you say, are thinking, right? You're thinking this, I want to turn this into a business. I want to do something with this. In order to do something with this, there's pieces to the puzzle. I got to figure out what I'm going to sell, how I'm going to sell it, who I'm going to attract, how I'm going to position it, how, all these soft skills. Then there's the hard skills. I got to figure out how to build a funnel, how to run an ad. So all these things have to take place. And once you get to that part of the thinking, I have to build the tech stuff. It's your mind that's saying to you, I'm not a techie. I can't do that. It's a thought process in your mind. And when it's just like when I say, pick up that coffee, bring that cup, put it in my right hand, bring it closer to my lips, take a drink. That's my brain telling me to do that. But my brain can also say, I control my brain. Well, if I choose to control my brain, I control my brain. If you choose to control your brain, you're going to control your brain and your thoughts. That's the way it is. But it's that negative thinking again. See, this is like I'm on a theme this week, I think. Because if you have these negative thoughts in your mind and you're telling yourself, I can't do this, I'm not a techie, you're going to be right. But if you recognize you're saying that, you can change it. Let's look at some of the greatest digital marketers in the world. Russell Brunson. When he was a wrestler in college, he had never ever built a funnel in his life. He just needed to make money because he was in love with his wife and he wanted to fix that and he wanted to have a family and he was sick of being broke. So he didn't stop and say, I'm a wrestler. I'm not a techie. Because his need to make change was stronger than his negative thoughts. So what I would suggest, and anybody does, so let me just get to the point here. Just like you can tell yourself, pick up that cup and have a drink. You can tell yourself, I'm going to learn how to build this funnel. I'm going to learn how to build this Facebook ad. And you can decide to put the negative thoughts out of your mind altogether. You can decide that. How would you do that? So what I would do in that case is I would think about, just for a second, and have a pen and paper in hand when you say that. Think about all the negative things that you say and feel, but specifically the things you say whenever, and I'm talking to yourself, I'm not talking publicly, the things you think whenever you get around a situation where you're trying to learn a new tech skill. I want you to think about those things and I want you to write them down on paper so you can visualize them. And then here's what I would do. Right behind my camera in my office where I'm recording this video right now, there is a blank wall, and on this wall I have comments, I have things written there. These are things that I want to focus on in my life. My wall says, I will be free. I will not be controlled by another person. I want to make more money than my grandchildren will ever need. So what am I doing is I'm doing this every day to ground myself and keep myself working, because frankly speaking, there's not a lot of financial reasons that keep me going anymore. So I do that. So try that with your negative thoughts. Friends, if you want to truly break this, if you want to truly crack this nut and get the negative thoughts out of your mind and stop telling yourself, I'm not a techie, I can't do anything, I can't build these funnels. Your first thing you have to realize that you're talking negative to yourself, that you're just saying it. It's not true. We are all designed with the same abilities. We've got minds. We've got the ability. We're ambidextrous. We can move our hands. We can control our actions. And so if you really wanted to, you could sit down. You could find a time of the day to work on your project. You could get yourself set up for success. You could join a good course that teaches these skills. Get a couple monitors set up so you can watch the training on one monitor and work on the other monitor so you can do the thing and you can learn. Listen, most, I would say the best online courses in the world that teach things like building funnels and Facebook ads, all of those things, if those teachers are worth their weight in gold, they're worth anything at all, the way they build their courses is with a lot of screen sharing videos where they're actually doing the thing so you can watch it and follow it yourself. Well, frankly speaking, if you really want to get this down and you want to drive more clients and more revenue into your business, then click on that link in the show notes that says, come and join me and let me show you how I've built a 7-figure coaching business. Join our community, because inside of our community, you're going to get access to training videos where their screens are being shared, and it's the latest versions of the Facebook ads machine and the funnels and all that stuff. It makes it really easy for you. But nothing is going to be easy if you tell yourself you can't do it. If you keep saying that to yourself. So the simple fix for that is, number one, you gotta get the negative thoughts, like all the negative thoughts that are in your mind, write them down on paper and put them on a wall. That's what I would do. I would write them in big letters on a wall. It's someplace, some setup, so you have to stare at it. You're forced to stare at it. That's why all of those phrases I just told you about, I'm looking at them right now as I'm staring at my camera, because they're literally directly behind the camera. So I'm constantly reminding myself about that. But here's what I would do, because I don't want you to drive those thoughts deeper into your mind. Right above all these comments, if you're going to do this on the wall, type, "This is not true. I control my mind," and write those comments out. And the reason I would do that is you need to create a mechanism so that the second you're thinking of a negative thought, the negative thought comes into your mind, you recognize it as negative and you stop yourself. You recognize it as negative and you stop yourself. You know what? The more I talk to you about this subject today, the more I pray that the most negative son of a bitch in the world watches this video. I hope I get through to him. Because this is not a tech problem you have. That's what I want you to know. This is not a tech problem you have. It's a thinking problem. Our thoughts become things. For those that have heard that and you roll your eyes the minute you hear that term, our thoughts become things. I want you to think about this logically for a second. Think about it logically for a second. You control your mind. How do your thoughts become things? It's really simple. The things you focus on are the things you do. Why? Because if you put your mind full of thoughts about the things that you need to do and you don't let those thoughts out of your mind, it's going to force you to do something about it. You'll go crazy if you don't. You move forward. That's really what you have to do. You got to be, so I guess if I was going to give you a bullet point list, if you want to master the tech side of things, you have to be in a community that offers you that assistance. So if you join our Get Paid Helping Others system, the information at the end, I'll talk to you a little bit about the end of this video, you're going to get into a community where we've helped hundreds and hundreds of coaches, course creators, and online entrepreneurs to build major businesses online, to make tens of thousands, some of them hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And inside of this community, there's live Zoom calls 3 times a week where if it's anything to do with the tech stuff, you can just show up on the Zoom call and somebody's going to be there to help you with it, share screens with you, fix your problems. And there are thousands of people in this community, and not one of them in this community is saying to themselves, "I'm not a techie," because they realize that you control. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. Think about that. Whenever you decide you're going to do something, it's because you thought about it first and then you did it. That's what people are trying to tell you. If you think about like great movies that are on this topic, like The Secret, I personally don't have a lot of time for that movie, The Secret. I'll tell you why. It's because it was factual. First of all, I'm going to tell you I agree with the content in it. What you focus on and you think about becomes your priority, becomes your state of being. What I don't like about the Secret movie is that they made it seem like surreal. They made it seem like hocus pocus. They made it sound like I could think my way into $1 million. If I had good thoughts in my mind and I walked around, good things just happened to me. That's bullshit. That's not true. But here is what's true. And it's just like picking the cup up, having a sip. My hand didn't do that. My mind told my hand to do it. That's where I believe the secret is valid. The teaching that they're saying in The Secret is valid. Whatever you think about, you're going to focus on, you're going to do. And those things are going to become realities because you're putting effort into it. You control the thing. And as such, if you keep telling yourself that I'm not a techie, I can't do any of that tech stuff, then you're going to be right. But you don't have to say that to yourself. So what you have to do is just stop saying those things. Now, some people are saying, well, how do I do that? I just told you how. Write it on a wall. Do whatever you have to do. Stare at it every day so that the minute you think that, you do something about it. And then join our community. Join some community. Join a community where they have an online course, but they have live coaching calls that you can show up at, so that whenever you get overwhelmed by something, then you have a resource for it. And listen, if you're one of the thousands of students and clients in the Authority Factory right now, we have triage calls, our Advanced Academy, 3 days a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 6 p.m. There's always somebody there live to help you. You know what's missing from those calls, though? You. And you know it. And you're the one I'm trying to get to right now. Start to change your thinking. I'm not going to let you cop out anymore. If you're right now saying to yourself, I'm not a techie, I can't do this, I can't fix this stuff, you're convincing yourself of that, but that's just not true. Every single person that is out there in the world today that's making millions of dollars in digital marketing, they all started in the same place. They had no clue about how to do any of this stuff. It was overwhelming to them, but some state in their lives, the desire to make change became greater than the desire of staying the same. And they started moving forward in spite. So in spite of the fact that you're telling yourself that stuff, in spite of the fact that you keep saying these things to yourself, you got to realize right here and right now that you control those thoughts. So you want to change your life, you want to master this tech stuff, you want to get your business off the ground, start by controlling your thinking. Hey friends, it's Ken. Thanks for being here with me today. Listen, if you enjoyed the show, make sure you follow it. You know what? I'm going to promise to give you amazing content all the time. You just have to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, put my content in your life, and I guarantee you're going to save yourself a lot of time and trouble. Hey, and on that topic, if you're following me, you're a coach, a consultant, you're somebody that wants to build an online business, helping other people accomplish something you've already done. And I want to give you the fast track. I've been studying the art of building an online coaching business for 20 years, and I've invested millions of dollars with some of the biggest coaches in the world. And you know what I found? They were all following the exact same system. It's a framework that I call the Authority Factor. It's a 4-step system that I want to share with you. And if you follow this system, I can't even begin to tell you what the future has in store for you. But I can promise you this one thing: you're going to get paid helping others. So go to authorityfactor.info. I put the information in the notes below. It's an amazing online live workshop that I'm doing right now, and I'm going to show you exactly how to build a coaching business the fastest way possible, with the most revenue, and avoiding the most mistakes.